This is Mecha Baby. I got this baby doll from a classmate of mine in this class right here, and I thought it was made out of porcelain. I think it is made out of porcelain, I'm just not sure. And I didn't want to cut it up because, well, it's porcelain, so I could get cut myself, because I know how porcelain works. Now, I can't modify the baby doll because of that too much. I can't just cut off its limbs or make cracks in its head. So I had to do something else. I had to modify something for the baby. And logically, I chose a mech suit, so I had a bunch of cardboard left over from the AI theater project, so I just cut all that up, made a mech suit out of it. I'm pretty familiar with cardboard already, and I cut it up with the X-Acto knife that we have in the makerspace, and I'm familiar with those because of my art background, so it all just seemed very logical to me, to make a mech suit for my baby. Now, while the initial pitch was very strong, I had nothing else besides that. It was just make a mech suit. No ideas of what I'm going to do. Like materials, sure, but I wasn't sure if I would paint it. I wasn't sure if I would attach any string or anything like that. I wasn't even sure if I was going to give it arms or legs. Like at one point I was considering putting Beyblades as the legs. I decided against that, but I had no clue where I was going next. Now, I did have plenty of inspirations for Mecha Baby. Like, I have this whole chart here, and this developed over the course of the project, so I'm only going to bring them up when they're relevant, starting with Baby Head from the video game Captain Commando by Capcom. This is a beat-em-up from the 90s, and it's got a mecha baby, basically. It's a baby in a mech suit. The general concept was inspired by that. So I didn't show everything that I did on screen. I did some painting off screen, and that was fun, but it's not easy to hold the camera and do the painting, so I just decided, So I made the mech suit, and this is based on the mech suit from Aliens, the movie Aliens. It's pretty, I've never even seen it, but I know what it looks like, so I just thought, yeah, that would work. That would look great. So what we got here is me making mechanical looking stuff on the mech suit of the body, and let's start with something I failed at. I drew over the blue tape with colored pencil to give it the look of a bunch of different wires sticking out of the machine. I ended up painting over the blue tape anyway, so later I added all these little marker details like panels and outlines and some rods sticking out and stuff, and added this sticker design on the side. So these were a lot more interesting to make than just the simple colored pencil thing. I'm glad I went in this direction instead. So the next thing that was a big issue was the wires, the red wires that are outside of the body of the mech suit. I still like the idea of having these exposed wires, so I put holes through the mech suit and put pipe cleaners, put them for the holes, and it kind of looked like exposed wires. Did not end up looking exactly how I wanted it to, but that's fine. More importantly, I ended up taking my leftover pipe cleaners and making them onto the feet. So, like I said before, originally, Beyblades. That was just one idea I was throwing around. I ended up going with popsicle sticks as the feet, 3 popsicle sticks taped onto 3 more popsicle sticks, taped onto 3 more popsicle sticks. And I used tape because I don't like using glue. Glue is messy and it's a pain in the butt. So I taped them together, and I ended up also putting the pipe cleaners to make it kind of look like it had like little toe ornaments, I guess. I don't know. Something a little fancy looking. I did end up gluing the feet to the body, so I did use glue. It's just I was just nervous. I was apprehensive. Near the end, I decided that Mecha Baby had to himself be a mecha because he's a Mecha Baby. It's not just his mech suit. He himself should be a robot. So I modeled him after the Terminator. And in the Terminator, he's got that like half scarred face. So I painted half his head black. And I painted his eye socket, and I put a little red dot for the eye socket. Originally it was yellow because that's all I had at the time, but then I went to the makerspace and I found some red marker. I also used the X-Acto knife to scar his head, so like I made cuts into the baby doll. I'm glad they don't show up very well because that's kind of weird and scary, and I don't like it. No cuts on my baby doll. As far as you can see, it kind of looks like a Terminator. He doesn't look amazing, but he looks kind of like the Terminator. There was some leftover the red wire stuff, so I just gave him a little sumo wrestler diaper because he's a baby. He naturally kind of looks like a sumo wrestler, and I really respect sumo wrestlers as people. They're really cool. So, I got my Mecha Terminator baby, and he looks great. Overall, I really enjoyed the process of the custom toy project. It was very fun, very relaxing. I don't think my end result looks too good, but that doesn't make me frustrated. It only makes me want to do even better next time I make something like this. And if anything, that makes me happy.